Now pay close attention. This isn't something you see every day.
Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about the Ultra Street Fighter 2's, the final challengers, Dhalsim. And man, let me tell you something, and they have finally come in, at least mine through BBTS. I got M. Bison, I got Dhalsim. I've been waiting for these guys. Tried looking for them in Targets out here in New York. Cannot find them anywhere. I'm telling you that right now. If you live out on Long Island, you are not finding these guys anywhere, and if you have, good for you. You are one of the lucky ones to get them at an early time. Now, with that being said, take a look at the packaging. We have the arcade cabinet, of course, just like back in the day when you were growing up. My time, you would go to the arcade with your buddies and play this, and then it came out on the Nintendo, and then you'd play this against your friends in your home, and it was a blast, and you had a good time. And Dhalsim was one of the, I don't want to say slowest, but he really was in the game very, very slow. But he was actually powerful, and he was one of the coolest ones because of the fact that later on he started doing the Yoga Flame and all that stuff, which was cool. But we'll get into more of that as soon as we get the figure out of the box. But let's take a look at this packaging. So you have a picture of Dhalsim down here. Once again, the arcade cabinet, the difference between player 1 and player 2's health. Flip it to the side, and on the side we have some more promotional art. And it says Dhalsim, country of origin, he's from India, and his fighting style is yoga, which is actually pretty interesting. And then on the back, you have a single image of Dhalsim by himself, and then of course all the other players. And I can't wait for that guy right there to come out, which hopefully sometime soon. And then also some more promotional art on the sides here of some other characters, and then back to the front. So let's get Dhalsim out of the package and let's talk about him. All right, so now that we have Dhalsim out of the box, and I just wanted to show him off sitting, like you can actually get him posed out in his yoga hover, and he's just sitting there, and yeah, that's awesome. Yes, of course, he's on a little stand, and yes, to me, that's awesome that you are able to do that with this figure. The articulation with these guys are just absolutely phenomenal. And yeah. But anyway, here is his background. So this was his stage background here that they have inside the box. And then, of course, Dhalsim comes with a bunch of accessories. This is not a stand that comes with Dhalsim. He does come with a stand, but this is not the one. This is one that I had for somebody else. Anyway, let's take a look at this guy. Let's get him off of here and let's have a look-see. Now, as far as his articulation and everything, you can see it's very well. But as far as his sculpt, anyway, it's absolutely beautiful. If you look on how they did the paint on his face, his head, the little jewel on his forehead, his eyes, the metal earrings here, the 3 skulls of the children that passed away in his village from disease that he couldn't save, and that's why he entered into the street fight, so he could actually get clean water to his village. If I'm not mistaken, that is what the lore is. But then again, I could be wrong, but I believe that's exactly what it was, and why he was so wanting to save his village. Anyway, this guy has his nice little yellow wraps, the rings here that are plastic and they move, and of course his hands. And yes, you have his legs, his shorts. Everything is done nice. Even the rope that goes around his waist is beautifully painted all the way around. So I can't complain. I mean, I have to say that they have done such a great job. He has an upper thigh swivel up here. The muscles in his legs are just phenomenal. Now, he's a little bit thinner than most of the figures in this line because he is, well, he's a very thin guy. But, oops. But as you can see, if his hands fall off, the rings come off. So just be careful with that because that's exactly what just happened to me. Just pop it back on. It's not a big deal. And then you just pop his hand back on. Because of the way I had his hands posed, the pegs kind of pushed out quite far. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, even this here that moves, this necklace piece, right? Look at that. It's literally like it's a string. It's not hard plastic. It's almost kind of like a, I don't want to say bendy wire, but yeah, that's pretty cool. and then moving down to his ankle wraps, and then of course his feet. I mean, just beautiful detail all the way around in this figure. I cannot complain whatsoever. They have done such a fabulous job with everything when it comes to sculpt, paint, and everything on these figures that, like I said, Jada Toys is knocking it out of the park. Now, this guy comes with a few accessories, so let me get him settled, and let's take a look at the accessories, because he comes with some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so posed him out here really quick just to show off these alternate hands that he has on there. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when you used Dhalsim back in the game, that's kind of how he stood in his fighting stance with his hands open like that. But anyway, that's one set of his accessories. The other set are his elongated arms. Everything's all stretched out. And, you know, they're all bendy, which I'm going to show off here in a little bit. The hands are not articulated. So in other words, the wrists don't bend and they don't swivel and they don't pop out to change them out. But you do pop these out at the shoulder. So that way you can pop these in. And then you can have the elongated part of his arms when he used to do like the yoga fist. So that's what these are for. And then right into it, we have his yoga kick. Yeah, so you know, he used to do his yoga drill and all sorts of stuff. But this is cool that they added these in here. And I mean, look, they have this little thing right here from when the mold is made, and then down here as well. It's all right. I mean, you know, that's what to expect when you get something like this. But for the most part, I mean, even still with the paint and the way the the detail is of the feet and everything, I mean, it's just absolutely just fabulous. Just fabulous. And last but not least, we have his alternate head. And I'm telling you, let me just get this to focus in. If I can get the focus in. Okay, there we go. His alternate head. And it's a screaming head, or his yoga flame type of head. But the paint, the eyes, everything on him is just absolutely done very well. And yes, the earrings here are metal as well, and they do move. I mean, geez Louise, I mean, that's a great head sculpt. And I will show this off on the figure here in a little bit. But in the game, he's taking that like real deep breath, and his chest would get all big, and then he would throw out that little yoga fireball, which was cool. But yeah, that would do his yoga flame. Yeah, Dhalsim, awesome. But that is just that's just beautiful work. And here's how those arms look with him doing his yoga punch. Okay, so now here's the leg all stretched out, and I just want to show you, it took me some time to get him to balance out like this. But as you can see, he can hold it up by himself. And if you can't get him to hold his balance, he does come with this trusty little stand to put the leg or the arm in, but he will hold it. And that right there is actually really cool to actually see a figure being able to do that. I mean, that's crazy. His leg is like way out there. And probably if I tap the table or do something like that, he's definitely going to fall over. Don't get me wrong. But you can still get him to pose. And the fact that I'm standing here right now, okay, that's me tapping. All right. So he hasn't fallen yet, but it took me some time. I'm not going to lie to you. But that's just amazing that the articulation with the figure, you're able to do that. But just to go to show that those extended limbs with this, you know, the accessory that you can put on him, excuse me, regardless if it's on one leg like this and this one extended out, or him with both arms punching or one arm punching, you can still get some great range and some great posability out of this figure. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And here he is doing that yoga drill the best way I can possibly remember. When he did it in the game, he kind of did something like this. I could be incorrect. It's been such a long time. But either way, I mean, these stretchy arms and legs definitely give him that nostalgic game appeal from when he used to do some of the crazy things that he did in that game. And here is a fire effect that I had from a Stormtrooper Incendiary Stormtrooper, but it works. I mean, you know, you put it on the stand, his little stand that holds his legs and his arms will hold that fire effect to make it look like he's doing a yoga flame or blasting out the flames out of that mouth of his, that screaming mouth. So pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I don't mind using it, that's for sure. I mean, it's not that big, huge plume of flame that he usually blows out of his mouth, but still, if you have a fire effect, you can still use it. All right, so let me get Dhalsim situated and let's do some comparisons with some other figures. Here's how Ryu and Ken compare to Dhalsim. Here's how M. Bison and Donatello compare to Dhalsim. Here's how Metalhead and the Cobra Eel from G.I. Joe Classified compare to Dhalsim. Okay, so with everything that Dhalsim comes with and how you can pose him, how the bendy wire inside those long legs and long arms of his, the screaming head, how you can use a fire effect with, it doesn't make a difference. The fact that he can sit with his legs crisscrossed and his hands together or his hands out, it doesn't make a difference on how you want to pose Dhalsim. You can do it, especially if you have a stand, you can have him floating in the air. I mean, that's just absolutely phenomenal. Plus the little stand will hold a fire effect, not just his limbs. Plus he can hold his own balance if you just want to have him standing there throwing a kick or a punch with one of his arms elongated or both arms elongated and just, you know, or him throwing a kick with one of those legs stretched out. He will hold his balance. This figure is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I just, you know, Jada Toys is knocking it out of the park, man. You see how he compares to some of these other lines, right? Including the line that he belongs to. And he fits in perfectly. So, I mean, even if you don't know anything about this character, you just wanted to pick this character up as just a fighter in general. It doesn't matter if you know Street Fighter, you don't know Street Fighter, if you're, you know, nostalgic about this line or not. It doesn't make a difference. If you just want to pick the figure up, pick him up. He's definitely well worth it. For 25 bucks, man, 25 bucks. You're getting a lot, and I'll say it again like I have in all the other videos. Jada Toys has brought something new to the table, and let me tell you something. Thanksgiving and Christmas has come early, and they're showing you how it's done. So get it through your skulls, man. These guys are doing some phenomenal work, and they're just going to get better and better and better. I can't wait for DJ and Guile and Cammy, especially Sagat, who is one of my favorites in this franchise, and Vega, Balrog. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, whatever line these guys get a license to, they're gonna smack it out of the park. Smack it out of the park. I'm telling you. So if you guys are listening, Jada Toys, you guys are doing phenomenal work, and you're only getting better from what I can see with these figures. I'm not saying they're always 110% correct or they don't have little here's and there's, but let me tell you something. Those little here's and there's are just minute little things that don't hinder anything. Articulation, sculpt, accessories for 25 bucks. You can't beat it. You cannot beat it with a belt, with a stick, with a brick. It doesn't make a difference. You just can't. But anyways, guys, this is my review on the Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers, Dhalsim. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment down below. Always hit the notification bell so you never miss out on anything new. And as always, catch y'all on the flippity flip.